I've put the case back together, and I think today I better get the dial board cut to the exact size. And I realize it's going to be impossible to have a perfect mirror image from one side to the other. Now I want to remember here that the only thing that's going to be visible is the corners, just the corners. This entire edge is going to be cut off. The dial almost takes up width and height of the inside of the hood. So as I say, very little is actually going to be showing. But I would like to have, what is showing symmetrical. I think that's pretty well it. The distance from here to here should be exactly the same as from here to here. The reason being is that when I cut these two pieces, I cut them exactly the same length. However, the distance from here to here might not be the same as from here to here. And let's just check this out. I haven't checked it yet. I'm doing this for the first time. Okay, I'm right about the first one. Now let's see the second one here. Okay, it's just a little bit tighter from here to here than from here to here. Just a smidgen. I'm guessing. Well, let's just see if we can figure it out here. There's probably not even about a 64th of an inch difference. Just very, very little difference. It's not too bad considering I was just sort of, oh no, wait a minute. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's just a tiny bit looser this way. Maybe not even a 64th of an inch. Anyway, nothing to really worry about. So, and I think the thing to do now is get one of these edges nice and square. You'll notice that right here, where the dial board was glued together, and the seam is right there where this little notch is. And I just want to get rid of that, get it flush all the way along. Now I want to be careful not to take off too much because, as you can see here, there's not too much wiggle room going on. Okay, I'm just going to use my table saw as a plane here. Just bring the teeth just above the work, and it should plane that off pretty good. Now there's another little thing I want to show you here. I'll adjust the camera so you can see it better. Now you're going to notice here that there's going to be the distinct possibility that I can rock it like this. The reason being is that there's a bit of a pivot point right there. So in other words, as I'm running it through, I'm going to be always slightly twisting it to the right, to my right. And, well, I guess it'd be to yours as well. And that way, the line is going to be straight. And I'm only going to take off just enough. In other words, I think what I'll do is I'll just get my fence adjusted here so it's going to just catch it. Give that a whirl. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, that's just catching it. And then I realize that it is going to be cutting more here than it will be here, but that's okay. Okay, you probably noticed this too. I did get a little bit of tear out here. Now I know I will be sanding this down just a little. Could be that if I had had the blade higher so that the teeth were going more down instead of across, then the tear out would have happened on the bottom. Now this is not going to be noticeable, I know that for sure. Actually, if we think of it, we can look for it later. I think it's pretty flat. Okay, so we know our distances are pretty much the same, but what if we're not square? You know, like what if it's a little bit askew? It shouldn't be, and this is actually the first time I've checked it. Actually, to be honest, I'm very surprised it's as close as it is. Okay, this dial is perfectly round. And we're looking at, well, not even the thickness of this thing. So I guess if I'm off just a smidgen, it's not going to make any difference. Now I realize I've spent a lot of time talking about trying to have this symmetrical, but once I get the dowel board cut, that's it. That's the way it's going to be. And there won't be any way I can change it. And as I mentioned a few episodes ago, you see this right here matches this right here. So I want to have them equal distance, you know. In other words, here this is way too much and this is too little. So I want to try and get it as equidistant as I can, because I do believe that this is going to show up in the corner, you see. This corner is going to show in this corner, and so on. Now, down here, it doesn't quite match as well here as it does here, but let's see if we can get the 12 o'clock position to be as close as possible, and I think probably right about there is it. I might be getting comments that say otherwise, but okay, that's where it's going to go. Okay, now the plan is to just leave the line. And I think that'll probably do it. Okay, now I think that probably the best idea for me to do to shorten it this way is just slowly work my way up to the right size. It's, you know, I'm eyeballing it right here, and it's not even a blade width. So yeah, let's see, how is it on the other side? Yeah. It may not be perfectly even here, so I might have to use the edge sander. Looks pretty good. don't want it to be so tight that it's going to be wedging this apart. But I think I was lucky on my first pass and I got it almost perfect. I don't need to worry too much about it expanding this way with moisture, but I do need to worry about it expanding this way with moisture, because that's the way wood goes. I've never tested it, but that's what I've read. Maybe someday we'll do a test. I think we got it pretty good here. So now, just figure out, where do I cut it here? Oh, that's not brain surgery. I've made a little mark here where I think it should go. Okay, if I was to draw a line from this mark to this mark and just keep it just on this side of the line, I can always sand down to it later. Now, you remember we concluded that this was square. Looks good. Now I realize that you can't see these marks from way over there. But they're lining up really good. So I am going to just draw a line here. And I am going to just leave the line and then work my way up to it. At least that's the plan. But Murphy's Law, if anything can go wrong, it will. Okay, let's see how far off we are. It looks like if I adjust my fence maybe a 1/16 of an inch. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, I got quite a ways to go yet. I didn't adjust it enough, that's for sure. Oh my, that is so close. I could force it in, but I think it's a little bit too tight. Well, I don't know. Like I say, I could force it in, but if this was to expand a little, it's going to want to spread this apart here. I think I'll take it down just a little bit more. But that's going to have to be tomorrow. So, once again, thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.